Hello everyone, my name is Purple Queen Star 3 and today we are talking about my, I want to say, first favorite character. No, she's my second. My second favorite character, Wuthering Waves Phrolova. Now, be warned, this is my first ever review of an RPG game character from Wuthering Waves, so please be nice. Now, be warned, list, I did not like talk about every single tiny little detail of Frolova. I just wrote down her goals, her abilities, her skill acquisition, personality traits and flaws, mannerisms and rituals, flaws and weaknesses, and of course my final thoughts. Now I am going to explain what I can about Frolova as best as I can. So please leave your thoughts in the comment section. Please like and subscribe to this video. That would be really helpful. And please, 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 let's all be nice and respectful towards one another. Now, on to the video about Frolova from Wuthering Waves. Motivations and backstory. Frolova's goal is to bring back her family from death. If you've already played Frolova's story, then you must already know that Frolova is the only survivor of a meteor. I don't know how to describe it, but anyways, all her family and friends have died. All of them except for her. And of course, that left a big scar on her. And I'm not just talking about her eye, the one that is bandaged, obviously. Now, of course, Frolova had allied herself with the Fraxidists. That's the people who do experiments on innocent civilians. But the reason why she did that was because she felt as though the Fraxidists had more resources than her, and plus, let's not forget, she and Rover did meet, but it felt like they met a really long time ago. And of course, Rover, you as the player, in other words, have left, just like they left Shorekeeper and Camilla, and probably everyone else in their life. Now let's talk about her skills and abilities. I am personally using Phrolova with Camilla and Verena. Now, Camilla is a main DPS focused on basic attack damage. Phrolova is a Havoc mutant resonator, and Verena is a known fighter for her supportive abilities. Phrolova doesn't fit well with Camilla's basic fighting style. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough roles for Urchia, and I think in less than maybe 13, 14 days, Canarella is coming up, and I gotta save up for her. However, for now, this fighting strategy works well for me since I don't have Canarella, Shorekeeper, or Jinshi. Now, how I think Varlova gained her abilities, I think she gained it by that meteor-tastic discord that destroyed her home. Now, when Frolova controls her baton, it feels like she's dancing for an audience. You know what I mean? It just feels like she's dancing as if no one is watching, And the person, well, her partner, her echo, is Hecate. And from what I can gather from Phrolova's profile is that Hecate is also her from a different world. I don't know if that makes sense, but in a way that kind of makes sense. Now, as for personality traits and flaws, everything that Frolova says just feels depressing. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to build up her intimacy along with Camilla's and Verina's intimacy levels. So yeah, I have no way of knowing how she feels about Scar, Cristoforo, and Fenrico, and yeah, all that, all those people that she's met. Her mannerisms are very polite. Whenever I hear her talking, it doesn't feel like she's happy, sad, or mad. When I was when we were at the ending of the event, Unfading Melody of Life, she didn't shout or yell at Rover. So, yeah, it just felt like she was just talking so softly. It feels like she can read you a story or sing you a lullaby while you drift off to sleep. But at the same time, it felt depressing. Now, her flaw is the bandage on her right eye, but honestly, it's not really a flaw. It's just something she has to do in order to keep her inner demon at bay. What I mean by that is that someone disguised as one of her friends said that Frolova is half human, half discord. You also got to see what she was planning with the humans and how to bring them back to life. Now for my final thoughts about Frolova. As I've been saying for the past maybe few days, Frolova is a very complex character. The way she fights is very unique to Canarella's fighting style. Now, the way they both fight just feels as though they are dancing. As Canarella, she fights, but she also swims, if that makes sense. For Frolova, she's just dancing. She's dancing as if there's an audience watching her. And ever since Frolova was introduced, I've always loved her red dress, which looked like she took some fabric and a field of red spider lilies and sewn them together. And if you haven't really noticed while you were playing a child character for Frolova, you can see on the screen spider lily petals when you play as Frolova as the child character. On other characters, they just disappear, but on Frolova, it's just there. I don't know how to describe it, but it could be this is how she sees the world and she wants us to see it as she does. I I hope that makes sense. But anyways, it's a really cool detail of how they made Frolova. Now, while you were doing Lupa's character event, make sure you pay attention how Frolova was acting as Cristoforo was talking about Mia's suicide.
You spoke with the Threnodian. Has Leviathan already awakened?
Only a fragment of it remains. A weakened, cunning shard, desperate to grow stronger. I'll fashion a story for this sea creature, enabling it to fulfill what it once sought, to have the dark tide swallow Septimont whole. The Threnodian once sought to use me to find Septimont's central hub in order to corrupt the beacon system. Even if met with failure, it would control the champion's mind to infiltrate the city's upper echelons. Oh well, it all failed in the end. In the face of her futility to resist corruption, that girl chose death. She drove a sword into her heart and leapt into the sea before choking on her own blood. Fascinating, isn't it? Faced with the same predicament, strength and weakness still make a difference. The Blessed Maiden single-handedly thwarted the Threnodians' designs in Raguna, but this poor soul had no choice but to take her own life. A death so theatrical, so saturated with sorrow. How poetic. How beautifully tragic.
I don't care for your taste, Cristoforo. I'm merely curious. What ending have you penned for Septimont this time?
Oh, such an impatient reader, Phrolova. This play is nothing more than an amplifier, designed to nurture the Threnodian's lingering power. Once it grows large enough, I'll overlay the Sonoro onto reality. All that's needed is for Domina Julia to select the right champion. Swapping out the protagonist is hardly a challenge. Once the sea creature grows within the cradle I forged from the dark tide, the hymn of journeying paradise will spread from Septimont across Renacita. Really, compared to those Septimontians who've long forgotten Mia, the story I've written for her is far more thrilling. Don't you agree?
And what if it fails?
Then so be it. You know, Phrolova, stories are but mankind's attempt to imagine and rehearse fate. If this play proves Rover worthy of becoming the protagonist of my story, if they pass their trial by fire, then isn't that a victory as well?